Martin Scorsese is one of the most respected and acclaimed film directors of all time. The Italian-American Oscar winner first began making films in the 1960s, and incredibly, he's still going strong today. He has made classic after classic, with movies that manage to blend his artistic vision with numerous successes at box office, a fine feat considering his films in general are not made to make money. In anticipation of his next film, Killers of the Flower Moon, starring Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio, here are Scorsese's top 10 highest grossing films according to boxofficemojo.com. At number 10, it's the mafia classic Goodfellas. Scorsese's 1990 masterpiece was remarkably met with scathing reviews initially from critics who balked at the movie's level of violence, but clearly audiences did not share the same sentiment, as the movie opened with almost $7 million at its opening weekend. It would go on to gross just over $46 million off a $25 million budget. At number 9, it's Scorsese's sequel to the classic pool movie The Hustler, his Tom Cruise Paul Newman flick The Color of Money. Highly stylish and flamboyant, with strong performances from its two leads, the movie earned $6.3 million in its opening weekend and made just over $52 million worldwide off a budget of just under $14 million. At number 8, it's Scorsese's re-team up with Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci after Goodfellas, the mob classic Casino. The film had double the budget of Goodfellas at $52 million, but also earned twice as much as it made $116 million worldwide. Number 7 is the 1991 remake of the classic Cape Fear. Weirdly, this film, about a sadistic, violent rapist looking to go after the lawyer who put him behind bars, was considered a commercial picture back in the 1990s. But clearly it was, as the movie was the first of Scorsese's career to gross over $100 million, earning just over $103 million of a $35 million budget. At number 6, it's the only children's movie of Scorsese's entire career, 2011's Hugo. The fantasy movie, shot in 3D and featuring a significant amount of CGI, cost a whopping $150 million to make. And though it almost made $200 million worldwide, the $185 million box office returns the film made meant the movie only had a $35 million profit. On to the top 5 now. And it's another expensive Scorsese film with Gangs of New York, Scorsese's first film with Leonardo DiCaprio, which also featured Daniel Day-Lewis, made for $100 million. Though the movie was plagued with production problems, including numerous delays, creative differences between Scorsese and producer Harvey Weinstein, and fears the ballooning budget would cause the studio to lose money, the film ended up making just under $194 million worldwide. At number 4, it's Scorsese's follow-up to Gangs of New York, his biopic of filmmaker Howard Hughes, The Aviator. This film was also a big budget one, costing $110 million, but like with Gangs of New York, it ultimately proved a success, making $213 million across the world. Third in the list is the follow-up to The Aviator, Scorsese's cop drama The Departed. On a clear hot streak, The Departed is also the film that won Scorsese his first and only Oscar for Best Director. The movie features a stunning all-star cast including Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg, and it's thought that half of the $90 million budget went to the actors' salaries. It was worth it for the studio though, as the movie made $291 million worldwide. At number 2, it's the peak of Scorsese's streak that started with Gangs of New York, his 2010 mind-bending thriller Shutter Island. The movie cost $80 million to make, and it made half that back in its opening weekend, and went on to gross just under $295 million worldwide. And at number 1, the highest grossing film of Martin Scorsese's 25-plus movie 50-year career, is 2013's sex, drugs and rock and roll crime comedy The Wolf of Wall Street, which cost $100 million to make and would go on to bank a stunning $392 million worldwide, the only Scorsese film to gross over $300 million. So there you have it. There's a clear pattern with Scorsese, a man who has made some incredible films such as Raging Bull and Taxi Driver on medium-sized budgets, having his costs for making films become big budgets since the turn of the century, and in most cases involved each film making more money than the last, keeping Scorsese in the good books of film studios and meaning he's able to continue making the kinds of films he wants to make. A Scorsese financial flop, such as Silence, is a rare occurrence, and studios can usually be rest assured that Scorsese's films will make money, as well as being critically acclaimed and garnering numerous Oscar nominations. Of course, we'll never know how much his most recent film made, The Irishman, the gangster reunion film where Scorsese worked with Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci for the first time in over 20 years, as the movie was released via streaming platform Netflix, as opposed to having a wide cinema release. So what do you think of the list? Were there any entries that surprised you, box office or budget-wise? And do you think Scorsese's new film, Killers of the Flower Moon, will end up as one of Scorsese's highest grossing movies? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.